Morning this morning. Tim Jones in for Jamie Allman. Welcome to Allman in the Morning. Thanks for joining us on a jam-packed Friday show. Jamie is heading north, I think, today.
To Chi-Town.
A little Chi-Town. Yeah, sweet. He'll be back Monday. Have no fear. I'm in the big chair today for him with a big show. Lots going on today. Katie Bailey, the show's kind of running itself today. There's
It's great.
Too many things to talk about, not enough time. Tell Jeff Allen we're going to go to fifth hour today.
We're going to go to 5, 6, just all day, Tim Jones.
That's right. So, Kilmeade, of course, is right after us, and they are on the scene in Houston this morning. Dragged the whole Fox set down there. Well, because Fox is hosting the Super Bowl.
Right. This is Chris Wallace, I believe, said every 3 years.
I didn't realize that
when Fox does the Super Bowl. So
I didn't know that. I didn't know the rotation.
Yeah, me
so
either.
Learn something from Chris Wallace. Learn something from Chris Wallace every week,
time.
So.
Yep.
And so they are. They're down there. They're on the set. And they're showing us all kinds of things. Looks like they're with like a grade school football team now. So, yeah, it's all good stuff. So, Fox will have the Super Bowl, and Patriots take on the Falcons. What time is it? That thing, I never get the time right on that. It's like 5:18 or something, Frank, Super Bowl.
It's like 5:30, I thought. I don't know.
Maybe 5:30.
Top of my head, I thought
and
it was like
Luke Bryan doing the national anthem.
Yeah.
I like Luke Bryan.
I think he'll do a great job. I'm not a country person, but I think he'll do a fantastic
Does
job.
Jeff Allen think that's bro country?
I'm sure he does.
Probably.
Luke Bryan, yeah. I'm sure he does.
He's got a great voice, though, Luke Bryan.
He does. And you know what? He's very charismatic. And those are the two things that I think you need in the entertainment business is that you need to be able to put on a show thoroughly and you need to have a talent.
Yes. And then the halftime show is
Lady Gaga.
Oh, boy.
It's going to be incredible.
I'm so ready.
Are you?
I'm so ready.
Are you
I
really?
love Lady Gaga. I love her.
Talk about two different people, Luke Bryan and Lady Gaga. Maybe we'll do a duet.
It's very diverse. Isn't that what we're going for?
We're all about diversity.
Yeah.
That's right. Bring it all in. Hey, we're going to talk to another guy who's very busy, and I can't believe they're 30 days in already in Jefferson City, hitting the ground running. Joining us now is newly elected, newly sworn in Representative Nick Schroer. He's at Nick B. Schroer on Twitter and nickforrep.com. Hey, Nick, good morning. How are you?
I am great. I'm just happy that politics is not like the entertainment business where I don't have to make moves like Luke Bryan gyrating through the House floor, and we can just get to business. So that's what we've been doing.
Yeah, I think when Katie meant when she said Luke Bryan's charismatic, is she means he's hot, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Hey, Nick. I just want to remind folks as well that just by happenstance, coincidence. Is that you also work for one of Jamie's favorite and probably, I think, one of his longest advertisers, Arrowhead.
Yes, I do. The Pogues out there are amazing people, great Christian family, and starting November, I used to be a criminal defense attorney, family law attorney. Now I'm general counsel for Arrowhead and their parent company. So just word of advice to any of our competitors, don't mess with us.
Very good. Hey, you can tell Rick gave him a little extra free advertising this morning, so
awesome.
he can give you a bonus this week. So
both he and I will appreciate that.
Yeah, exactly. No, the Pogues are awesome people, and you guys are all making St. Charles County great again, right? So
yeah, that is our motto. I think Trump took it from us.
That's right. So Nick, I'm telling you, man, I when I was speaker, I tried to keep things moving at a good steady clip, but I am impressed with what has come out of the House and the Senate in the first 30. Can you believe it's been 30 days, Nick? It probably feels like a blink of the eye, right? Because you guys have been so busy.
It feels like 2 weeks have gone by.
So, Nick, one thing, there's two things. There's two things that Jamie and I often banter back and forth on the radio and on the television show on the Allman Report, and that is labor reform issues and tort reform. And there's been a lot of that so far in Jeff City. And it's not that Jamie is opposed to either of those. He's just, I think he's a healthy skeptic on those because we've been debating those things in Missouri, I think, forever. It seems like forever, and we've got none of it passed because the governor has been Jay Nixon for 8 years, and he's vetoed everything, and we've had, unfortunately, a few Republicans, not like you, but some others who aren't really with us on tort reform and labor reform. So now, Nick, it's a new year. There's a new sheriff in town, Governor Greitens, who has a whole different philosophical bent than Jay Nixon. So these things are actually going to come to pass. So you passed right to work yesterday, Nick. First of all, congratulations. A historic moment for the Missouri legislature.
Absolutely.
Tell me, Nick, why you, as a legislator who just barely walked in the door and found out where the bathrooms are. What convinced you? And I know you did campaign on this as well. I know you were very clear. You are for right to work. You think it's a good thing for Missouri. We got a diverse audience, Nick. We have a lot of really, really good labor men and women. And I have nothing against labor unions. This is not about union busting to me. It's about the fact that for over 10 years, Missouri has been 47th in GDP growth. We are losing manufacturing jobs. Since I started in the legislature, yet another auto plant, Chrysler, closed here in St. Louis. So, Nick, to me, being a union shop hasn't helped us. So why did you vote for right to work? What do you think it'll do for our state?
The biggest selling point for me was going door to door, talking to people about this issue. Now, when I'm hitting doors, I'm not hitting 40,000 doors of all the people that are in this district. So I had to rely on the surveys of my predecessor, who nonetheless voted against right to work. But I think that the debate that had been going on in this state for many years, since you've been speaker, since I believe 1940 was the first time this thing had been presented to the House. But looking at the surveys and seeing the uptick in people that had realized, look, we need to do something. Is this going to be the silver bullet? I don't know. Is this going to do damage to us? I doubt that. That, the conversations that I've had with people, that I've come to the realization that more people, the majority of the people in my district alone, wanted right to work. Now, there are other aspects of labor reform that they're more 50-50 on, or we need to have another conversation because not a lot of people know about prevailing wage and other issues. But as far as right to work, you can see an uptick from the past 6 years in my district alone where people are starting to come and they have crossed over the 50-50 threshold. And now in my district, we're about 55% pro right to work. Now, this law, too, this bill, was probably the most simplistic form I've ever seen in a state that's pushed through right to work. It's only 2 pages long, and all it does is prohibit labor unions from requiring workers to pay union dues as a condition of employment. Not necessarily join the union, but it requires them to not have implementation of requiring people to pay union dues as a condition of employment.
Well, I think, Nick, that's the first important point to point out about this bill is all it does, the left and the liberals like to say, oh, this is Republicans doing big government, interfering in contracts, blah, blah, blah. Nick, none of that is true, is it? Because what the bill does is it puts the decision back in the hands of the individual worker.
Absolutely. And, the left is always talking about freedom of choice and freedom. There's a pro-choice party, but when it comes to choices that other people want to make that they don't agree with, they're not pro-choice. But it's a very simple bill, and when you look at states like Oklahoma, you look at states like Indiana, where they've implemented right to work, and then the union membership started increasing. So it's not barring people from joining the unions, and this bill even has a grandfather clause in there. So our contracts that are in place right now, the government, as the left would say, is not coming in and severing these contracts or interfering with the contracts. So the contracts that are in place now, they can stay whatever they want to. But after that's up, it's my understanding that the workers will have a choice whether to join the union or not.
That's right, Nick. And that's another thing that people need to realize is unlike President Obama's failed Obamacare promise about you can keep your doctor if you want to keep your doctor, which was not what Obamacare did. In this bill relating to right to work, the Missouri legislature has put in black and white in the bill that if you like your labor union contract, you can keep your labor union contract.
That's
and that grandfather clause is in there, correct? That was the final passage in that bill, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's odd because outsiders would think, look, having a supermajority in the House, the Senate, having a Republican as the governor, one would think that as fast as we were moving, that we would not let the minority party speak, which the minority party spoke up more than anybody, and we kept this debate open for weeks.
That's another important. Yeah, Nick, that's another important point. They did not pull the nuclear option here in Missouri in the Senate, did they?
No.
They let the filibuster play out, and then everybody sat down, and we had an up or down vote. How refreshing to have an up or down vote on issues, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And Nick, a lot of people say that. And last thing on this issue, a lot of people, some people were saying, oh, we need to put this on the ballot. Well, Nick, tell me if I'm wrong, but this was like the central issue in the governor's race and in the election that we just had.
Yeah, there were many people that are in the House, in the Senate, in statewide offices that ran off of that issue alone. And, correct me if I'm wrong, but when I pay attention to politics, when you were in office, I believe that the Republicans wanted to put it on the ballot, and the Democrats kept shooting it down time after time.
Right. Hey, Nick, hang on. I'm going to go to a break here, and then I'm going to come back to you to talk about some of the tort reform bills you passed, and then I want to know what's next. I mean, you guys have like 3 months still left to go, and so I imagine there's a lot more coming up. So, Nick, hang on. We'll get back to you. This is Tim Jones in for Jamie Allman.
Allman in the morning.
Talking to Representative Nick Schroer, Missouri Legislative Update. We got more from the good representative when we come back. Tim Jones in for Jamie Allman all morning this morning here on FM News Talk 97.1.